Hello again, class. Today we're here to talk about paraphrasing, which is basically saying the same thing using different words. Writers sometimes paraphrase an idea to help readers understand their point. For example, in the introduction to the essay we read in class today, on page 25, you can see two sentences that mean basically the same thing. So I'm looking in the first paragraph, the third and fourth sentences. So Renfro and Gosling came up with the hypothesis that people choose music that reflects the kind of person they are. In other words, these researchers believe that our music preferences are tied to our personality type. We hear the language in other words, and that introduces to us the next sentence is going to be the same idea, but just explaining it in different words. So the kind of person they are, personality type. Those two ideas are the same, but they're different words to say the same thing. Writers also paraphrase when they want to repeat an idea without sounding repetitive. For example, you know you're supposed to restate your thesis in your conclusion paragraph, but you don't want to write the exact same sentence again. So that's when paraphrasing comes in handy. Paraphrasing is also a useful skill in reading. If you have questions to answer about a passage, they usually won't use the exact same words in the question as what was in the passage. So you need to understand that the meaning is the same when you're looking back to the text to find the answer. So again, about today's essay, an example, page 27, there's some true-false questions about identifying details. Number 2 says, Renfro and Gosling's research showed that people believe listening to music is as important as other hobbies. So if we go back to the passage to try to find that answer, I see something about hobbies in the beginning of paragraph 2. And actually those first two sentences are sort of the same idea, but different words. Their research, which appeared in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, led to some very interesting discoveries. The undergraduate students rated music to be as important to their lives as other hobbies and activities. So basically the same as what we saw in the true-false question, but a little different, so you need to recognize that the meaning is the same. And if you have open-ended questions rather than true, false, or multiple choice, your teacher probably also hopes that you'll use your own ideas to answer the questions instead of just finding the answer and copying the sentence. Why? Why do we care if it's the same idea? Well, we want to know that you really understand the passage, and it's a lot more clear when you use your own words to explain the answer. Let's look at another example. The original sentence is, selling a product successfully in another country often requires changes in the original product. By the way, I'm sorry we don't have the smartboard today. It was not cooperating. I tried to have all the notes written out for you ahead of time, but it wouldn't play nice today, so we have to go low-tech. The original sentence, selling a product successfully in another country often requires changes in the original product. So the main idea that we want to keep is that companies have to change the product to succeed selling that product in other countries. So a good paraphrase, the most successful exporting companies have succeeded because they made important changes in the products. So we're talking more about the companies and what they did instead of just selling a product. The words are different, but the meaning is the same. It's about the same length, but the grammar and vocabulary are different. So unlike summaries, which we'll discuss tomorrow or later, paraphrases are usually no shorter or longer than the original sentence. So remember, we're just using them for variety, not to make things simpler or anything else like that. Now, a bad paraphrase would be, to sell a product successfully in another country, you need to change the product. Now, this is not a good paraphrase because the language is too similar. So instead of selling a product successfully, we changed it to sell a product successfully in another country. That's a very minor change. And instead of often requires changes, it says you have to change the original product. So it's very similar, it's too similar. And if you use someone else's ideas like that in a paper, it is called plagiarism. I'm sure you've heard this word before, but if not, look it up. Plagiarism. American schools are very strict about plagiarism. Don't do it. It simply means if you copy someone else's ideas and you don't credit the source, then it's like saying it's your own idea, and that is very bad. Just don't do it. So that is about it for paraphrasing. We will practice this in class tomorrow. I'm sure you're looking forward to it. That's all I have for you today. Good night. Thank you.